Ever wondered who the richest YouTubers are based on just their AdSense earnings? Well, forget the brand deals, merch, or memberships. In this video, we're diving straight into the raw numbers from views alone. We'll break it all down by niche, not just who made the most, but who's killing it in their category. Let's get into it. The first on the list is MrBeast, who is in the entertainment niche, who got a 2.7 billion views from shorts and 864 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $5 for his long-form videos and RPM of 9 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 2.7 billion views by 1,000, which would result to 2.7 million views. Then we would multiply 2.7 million views by 9 cents, which would result to $243,000. The second step is dividing 864 million views by 1,000, which would result to 864,000 views. Then multiply 864,000 views by $5, which would result to $4,320,000. The estimated earnings of MrBeast in the last 28 days would be the addition of $243,000 and $4,320,000, which is $4,563,000. The second highest earning YouTuber is Lankybox, who is in the gaming niche, who got a 230 million shorts views from shorts and 210 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $3 for his long-form videos and RPM of 9 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 230 shorts views by 1,000, which would result to 230,000 views. Then we would multiply 230,000 views by 9 cents, which would result to $20,700. The second step is dividing 210 million views by 1,000, which would result to 210,000 views. Then multiply 210,000 views by $3, which would result to $630,000. The estimated earnings of Lankybox in the last 28 days would be the addition of $20,700 and $630,000, which is $650,700. Number 3 is React, who is in the commentary niche, who got a 5.1 million views from shorts and 19.7 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $2 for his long-form videos and RPM of 9 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 5.1 million views by 1,000, which would result to 5,100 views. Then we would multiply 5,100 views by 9 cents, which would result to $459. The second step is dividing 19.7 million views by 1,000, which would result to 19,700 views. Then multiply 19,700 views by $2, which would result to $39,400. The estimated earnings of React in the last 28 days would be the addition of $459 and $39,400, which is $39,859. The fourth on the list is Caleb Hammer, who is in the finance niche, who got a 145 million views from shorts and 14.7 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $11 for his long-form videos and RPM of 50 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 145 million views by 1,000, which would result to 145,000 views. Then we would multiply 145,000 views by 50 cents, which would result to $72,500. The second step is dividing 14.7 million views by 1,000, which would result to 14,700 views. Then multiply 14,700 views by $11, which would result to $161,700. The estimated earnings of Caleb Hammer in the last 28 days would be the addition of $72,500 and $161,700, which is $234,200. At number 5 we have the Ninja Fam, who is in the family vlogging niche, who got a 1.9 million views from shorts and 31.6 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $2 for his long-form videos and RPM of 9 cents for short. The first step is dividing 1.9 million views by 1,000, which would result to 1,900 views. Then we would multiply 1,900 views by 9 cents, which would result to $171. The second step is dividing 31.6 million by 1,000, which would result to 31,600 views. Then multiply 31,600 views by $2, which would result to $63,200. The estimated earnings of the Ninja Fam in the last 28 days would be the addition of $171 and $63,200, which is $63,371. The number 6 on the list is Nick Digioani from the cooking vlogging niche, who got a 219 million views from shorts and 96.9 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $3 for his long-form videos and RPM of 21 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 219 million views by 1,000, which would result to 219,000 views. Then we would multiply 219,000 views by 21 cents, which would result to $45,990. The second step is dividing 96.9 million by 1,000, which would result to 96,900 views. Then multiply 96,900 views by $3, which would result to $290,700. The estimated earnings of Nick Digioani in the last 28 days would be the addition of $45,990 and $290,700, which is $334,690. The 7th on the list is Jesse James West from the fitness niche, who got a 30.3 million views from shorts and 20.1 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $2 for his long-form videos and RPM of 21 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 30.3 million views by 1,000, which would result to 30,300 views. Then we would multiply 30,300 views by 21 cents, which would result to $6,363. The second step is dividing 20.1 million by 1,000, which would result to 20,100 views. Then multiply 20,100 views by $2, which would result to $40,200. The estimated earnings of Jesse James West in the last 28 days would be the addition of $6,363 and $40,200, which is $6,563. 18 Number 8 we have Linus Tech Tips from the tech niche, who got a 9.7 million views from shorts and 58.3 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $5 for his long-form videos and RPM of 21 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 9.7 million views by 1,000, which would result to 9,700 views. Then we would multiply 9,700 views by 21 cents, which would result to $2,037. The second step is dividing 58.3 million by 1,000, which would result to 58,300 views. Then multiply 58,300 views by $3, which would result to $174,900. The estimated earnings of Linus Tech Tips in the last 28 days would be the addition of $2,037 and $174,900, which is $176,937. We have Forgotten Weapon at number 9 in the gun niche, who got a 4.3 million views from shorts and 18.4 million views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $1 for his long-form videos and RPM of 5 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 4.3 million views by 1,000, which would result to 4,300 views. Then we would multiply
4,300
by 5 cents, which would result to $215. The second step is dividing 18.4 million by 1,000, which would result to 18,400 views. Then multiply 18,400 views by $1, which would result to $18,400. The estimated earnings of Forgotten Weapon in the last 28 days would be the addition of $200 and $18,400, which is $18,615. And finally at number 10 is Coco Melon Nursery Rhymes in the children niche, who got a 622 million views from shorts and 1.4 billion views from long-form videos. I would be using the RPM of $1 for his long-form videos and RPM of 5 cents for shorts. The first step is dividing 622 million views by 1,000, which would result to 622,000 views. Then we would multiply 622,000 views by 5 cents, which would result to $31,100. The second step is dividing 1.4 billion by 1,000, which would result to 1,400,000 views. Then multiply 1,400,000 views by $1, which would result to $1,400,000. The estimated earnings of Coco Melon Nursery Rhymes in the last 28 days would be the addition of $31,100 and $1,400,000, which is $1,431,100. The END. Peace.